Wolves are at the FA Cup, 1-0 defeat to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Loads of talking points to this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Disappointing defeat for Wolves. Frustrating game on so many levels. And it's not just about the match today, it's about the rest of the club at the moment. It's a strange place and situation at the moment as a Wolves fan, if I'm being honest. Let's talk about the game. That's what you're here for at the moment. Wolves starting a surprisingly strong team, which was great to see as a fan. John Ruddy coming in goal, which was the only major change, really, as we expected for Patricio. But the rest of the team was pretty full strength from what was available. Johnny Otto, left wing back, Matt Doherty, right wing back, Cody, Dendoncker and Sace making up the back three, Neves and Matinho as the central midfielders, and Neto, Adama and Raul up front. United starting a slightly rotated team, a couple of key players out, and when I looked at the team straight away, I thought Wolves have got a great chance here. You know what Manchester United are like? They've got so much quality and so much experience, so on their day they can really turn up and give a team a game. And to be honest, Wolves looked great in the first half. Well, not great, but we looked good. And we created a couple of great chances. First one being that Raul Jimenez chance. Lovely ball into the area. Fantastic little turn by Jimenez. Sent three players packing. And it's just so unlike Raul Jimenez to get a really weak attempt, left-footed attempt, more or less straight to Romero. Frustrating, but we carried on. And we got our luck in the end. A United mistake. Maguire went down. And Jimenez obviously played the ball into Pedro Neto, who ended up finding the back of the net. Typically, I can't get balance on the camera. There we go. And Jimenez, who found Neto. Neto took a while, but he found the back of the net eventually. Great goal. But for some reason, I just couldn't, with Neto, didn't really want to celebrate like we had in the game against Anfield when he scored that great goal, which was very cruelly ruled out for offside. And this time it's VAR, again striking with a handball. So VAR into that handball rule. The rule is disastrous. Disastrous rule, horrific, which needs to be changed, needs to be looked at immediately. Obviously, well, they're not going to do it immediately. But for the new season, they've got to axe that rule. They've got to amend the rules. Because it's not just Wolves that have been done with that a couple of times. It's other teams. Declan Rice, probably the most notable one in recent weeks. But that is a dreadful rule. And obviously that's cost Wolves. And to be honest, after that chance and that goal, Wolves didn't look good. And, you talk about people thinking this is going to kill the momentum of teams and so on. It just didn't. Wolves didn't get going after that. United had a couple of good opportunities in the first half as well. For me, those long balls over the top, right through the middle of the two defenders, in between Cody and Sace, or Cody and Dendoncker, and Dan James, who is going to be a quick and pacey customer, getting through a couple of times. John Ruddy, to be fair to him, making a couple of great saves. Under a little bit of criticism after his last few performances, such as Villa in the Cup and so on. But he was great today, so good quality saves from him to keep us in the game. But coming into half-time, I was pretty optimistic about the second half because Wolves had a good performance. I felt like we deserved something after that first half performance, and we played well. But the longer the game got on, it wasn't as if Manchester United showed any real quality either, because their chances were few and far between. But Wolves were dreadful that second half. We really were poor. Our tiredness started to show, and that one real lapse of concentration after we showed how consistent and solid we could be at the back and how organised we could be. One major mistake, and again it's come from that right hand side initially. Ball in, I don't know where the defence is. You could blame a number of people for that chance, but in the end I'll let you guys decide who's to blame there. But Juan Mata he used his experience, his composure, just a little dink over John Ruddy, gave United the lead. And to be honest, after that it looked like Wolves were not bothered about the FA Cup. I think if we managed to get a first goal, we may have shown a bit more of a fight. But I think Nuno and the players probably thought, if we get a goal here in the next 25 minutes, there's a big chance we're going to have to play another half an hour. And for Wolves at the moment, we can't afford to do that with the strength and the size of our playing squad. And it showed at the end of the game. Adama looked like he came off with a little, because he was, hopping it towards the end of his little spell on the pitch. Neto looked like he picked up a knock. Vinagre picked up a knock as well. Like, when is it going to stop? And Wolves need to spend money in the next 2 weeks. In the words of Robbie Lyle, sign some players, because at the moment it is not looking good. And as for a Wolves fan trying to watch this, today there was no urgency. It was a tired performance. And it's strange that now it's caught up on us. Now, when we're not really playing and having the intensity of games that we were having in November, December, it looks like it's caught up with us now. And Mendes was in the crowd. Jeff Shee was there today. Hopefully those two, okay, the chances are he's there to broker a deal for United for Bruno Fernandes. But those two need to get their heads together and, get with Nuno, get with Thelwell, and think, who do we need and what players do we need in this squad now to ensure that we can remain competitive in the Premier League with a top half finish and remain competitive and possibly go for the Europa League. This team has surprised me with how well they've done this season on all fronts. Okay, we're out the Carabao Cup. With the team we set up in that game, it looked like Nuno wasn't really bothered about that competition. The FA Cup today, Nuno didn't really have much choice. But it looked like, he favoured this competition last year. It looked like he could have gone for a run. But now we're out of this. Possibly it is a blessing in disguise. Possibly we can now focus on the Premier League and on the Europa League. But top 7 is a huge possibility. A huge possibility. And us as fans, we love the Europa League at the moment. They're introducing another European competition. I don't even know the name of it, next year. So finishing in the top 7 is going to give us more money and more European football. And that's what the club's going to want. So I think for us, we can focus on that. And we do have the starting 11 and quality to play on that front. But we need to have players. The fact that we couldn't bring Jimenez off today, or we had to start him full stop. I think everyone wouldn't have minded him having a little rest if we had the quality to start. Oscar Burr coming on at right wing back. No disrespect to him, but that's not the quality. That's not the quality Wolves need if we want to start fighting on these fronts. The fact that United can make pretty, not wholesale changes, but they've been able to make changes today and still, not comfortably, but still win the game. It shows the sort of difference in depth at the moment, and we really need to look at that. It wasn't just about the performance today. I think Nuno was almost sending a message with a couple of those changes. The fact that we brought on Morgan Gibbs-White, we brought on Vinagre, and we brought on Oscar Burr. Morgan, who I don't mind in a winger position. I think in this current formation, I don't mind Morgan in that winger position because I think he's more of an attacking player. But the fact that we don't have an out-and-out proper winger and an out-and-out proper striker that we can bring on to change the game at the moment, for me as a fan, is worrying. And this next 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks now, Wolves have got to spend, and we've got to bring in 3 to 5 players minimum. Whether that's loans, whether that's permanent deals. I know how difficult the January transfer window could be, but anything less than 2 or 3 players is a disaster for Wolves, and it's a must to sign these players. Today's performance was disappointing, full stop. I was disappointed with a number of players. Matt Doherty again. I think I saw Neves in right wing back more than Matt Doherty today. Adama disappointed me a little bit. It's his work rate off the ball, which is disastrous, especially today. Of course, I love Adama going forward. What a player, and can win games on his own. But his work rate today, there were spells, even in the first half, because he wasn't covering back, Sace was coming and just leaving a massive gap. And of course, the defence has got to be disciplined, but you need help from all areas of the pitch. There's areas today that could be improved, but at the end of the day, Wolves are out of the FA Cup, but the club need to focus on strengthening this squad in the next 2 weeks or so. We move on to Southampton now, which for me is a massive game. It's 5 now without a win for Wolves. We need to bounce back. It's almost, it's got me feeling like that bad run we had at the start of the season. If we can get a win against Southampton, all will be great again. Momentum will be great. But the fact that we could go toe-to-toe with Manchester United, regardless of situation after our past few years, it's their first win against us in 5 attempts. We've really shown over the last year or so how good Wolves can be. So we just need to strengthen the squad a little bit, get our heads together. We've got a few days rest now, just knuckle down, and hopefully we can get 3 points on Saturday. If you liked the video today, be sure to hit the like button down below. Sorry I went on a little bit. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know your thoughts as well, everything on the situation, the game and the transfer situation. I know it's been a long video, but hopefully you guys understand a little bit of frustration. I'm not normally this negative and frustrated, but hopefully you understand the situation and enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Until next time, I'll be back for the Southampton preview and review. I'll see you all very, very soon.